In the depths of the underway, war takes on a different appearance than it does under the open sky. Tight corridors and narrow tunnels prevent the dwarfs of the Karazhan Corps from bringing their most potent long-range artillery into battle. Cannons are decidedly less useful when you can't see the enemy until they're right on top of you, after all. Their Skaven and Greenskin opponents, on the other hand, suffer no such limitations. Indeed, some of their weaponry becomes even more dangerous in tunnel warfare. Poison Wind Globes and Night Goblin Fanatics, lethal enough under ideal circumstances, become incomprehensibly deadly when the air cannot clear and mushroom-infused greenskins can't be outmaneuvered. This has forced the dwarfs to do the one thing they hate more than Groby: innovate. The Engineers Guild labored long and hard to develop a weapon capable of bringing some of a cannon's firepower to the battles beneath the earth. The end result was the Drakegun, one of the most devastating weapons forged by Dawi hands. With a barrel shaped like a roaring dragon, the Drakegun is aptly named. When fired, the weapon unleashes a devastating blast of alchemical fire over a short distance. This bolt of flame hits as hard as a troll, punching through full-plate armor and iron-hard scales as easily as tissue paper. While not quite as lethal as a cannon or bolt thrower, a single shot can still reduce a charging squig to ash, or punch a fist-sized hole through a rat ogre. As if that wasn't enough, they are incredibly easy to reload. A Drakegun can be fired faster than a bow, letting its wielder immolate their opponents at a truly astonishing rate. Ironbreakers highly value the Drakegun, as its superheated bolts can even the odds against opponents too tough to slay by conventional means in the confined quarters of tunnel warfare. Unfortunately, the Drakegun is not without its downsides. Its fire burns incredibly hot, to the point where even an Ironbreaker's Gromroll plate armor has trouble withstanding repeated exposure. Early tests saw its wielders overheat inside their armor, though there appear to have been no casualties as a result of this. When confronted with this issue, the engineers turned to the runesmiths. With their aid, runes of protection were expertly laid into the Gromroll plates, reinforcing its already prestigious protective abilities and providing near immunity to flame. These suits allowed their wearer to safely handle the explosive heat of repeated Drakegun use. Unfortunately, the process of crafting such armor is incredibly difficult. The talent needed to forge it is rare even among the Dawi, ensuring that only a few suits are produced every year. As the Drakegun cannot be reliably used without them, the weapons are rare as a result. Only the most skilled and experienced Ironbreakers are allowed to use them. These warriors, known as irondrakes, are some of the most potent soldiers the Karazhan Corps has ever known. While the Drakegun is lethal enough in its own right, several variations of the weapon have been developed over the years. Trollhammer torpedoes, an alternative ammunition for the Drakegun, are used to take down particularly large opponents. These explosives can, as the name suggests, fell a troll or ogre with a single shot. They also hit significantly harder, and can be fired over much greater distance than a normal volley of Drakegun ammunition. These advantages do come at a cost, however. The Trollhammer torpedo is loaded into the front of the Drakegun's barrel, making it exceptionally cumbersome and slow to reload. It's also expensive to produce, ensuring that only the leader of an Irondrake regiment, known as an Iron Warden, can secure one with any regularity. This makes them rare on the battlefield, though the presence of even one such weapon can be keenly felt by the foes of the Dawi. Another variation on the Drakegun is the Drakefire pistol. These weapons operate under the same premise as the Drakegun, though they are much smaller in size. They can't fire quite as far as a normal Drakegun, but can be used in melee combat and hit just as hard as their standard counterparts. While it's not practical to outfit an entire unit of Iron Drakes with them, some Iron Wardens carry braces of Drakefire pistols, letting them fire several blasts of alchemical fire at the enemy in quick succession. Many a Skaven chieftain or greenskin warlord has descended upon a supposedly vulnerable unit of Iron Drakes, only to find their chests filled with superheated Drakefire pistol shots. In Total War Warhammer, Drakeguns function quite differently than they did in tabletop or in lore. While the tabletop version acted more like a laser rifle, hitting one enemy super hard, the Total War version is a flamethrower, immolating large swaths of enemies with a single volley. That doesn't mean they're bad, and Iron Drakes are fantastic against swarms of lightly armored infantry. I personally love the smell of napalm and Nagaroth when I use Grombrindle's starting Iron Drake to burn through hordes of Skaven and Dark Elves. Trollhammer torpedoes are also in the game, though they're much more common than they are in the lore. They're pretty similar to their tabletop versions in stats though. High damage, excellent against large targets, but glaciers form and melt in the time it takes for them to reload. I've never gotten much use out of them myself, but I have seen people who have, so you can't count them out entirely. I still prefer Thunderers and Slayers for my anti-monster/cavalry needs, but that's just a personal preference. That'll bring us to the end of our overview of the Drakegun. It's a cool weapon, one that I've loved over the course of my numerous Dwarf campaigns, and I hope this video has improved all of your opinions of it in some capacity. If it did, feel free to leave a like or a comment down below. If there's something else you want to hear about, tell me about it in the comments and I'll see what I can do. You could also subscribe to the channel to see my videos going forward, as that's the best way to hear about my stuff when it comes out. That's all for today though, so until next time, this has been Sigmar's Chosen, signing off for now.